Well, it's now time to bring some more spotlight on agricultural sector. We're looking at food security in Nigeria with a global front as well, but still making our action local. Now, food production system generally depends on a number of factors, which includes human, technological, and natural elements. Now, the natural elements consist of land, water, resources, as well as climatic variables comprising of temperature, rainfall, relative humidity, and much more. There can be no successful food production if any of these factors are out of balance, both in quality and in quantity at any given period. Over the years, there have been varies of climatic variables globally, which have also given rise to the current climatic change phenomenon that has become a recurrent decimal in local, national, and international discourse. Now, this has also become a major source of concern because of their impact on food security, especially in the developing countries. Well, I have joining me live to give more insights on the topic for today, the discussion. This is the second part for today. And I have with me the leadership and trade expert, Evelyn Ugbe. Good to have you on Business Nigeria this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, overall, 6 to 7 million people will require humanitarian food assistance in Nigeria, which has spanned the June to September lean season and still continues, while we also have food security, which is earlier projected to improve between October and December with the harvest, as more needs are expected to remain higher than normal. But still, the most challenging reality has been the inflationary pressures which have driven food prices up. What do you make of this pattern over the months due to COVID-19?
Now, the COVID, in addition to climate change and all that disasters, has led to increase in food insecurity. According to research, at the beginning of the year 2020, over 100 million Nigerians did not have access to sufficient food. And the lockdowns that were put in as a measures to control the spread of the pandemic led to the shortage of food supply and wastage, particularly affecting women, smallholder farmers who constitute majority of farmers at the rural level, thereby also affecting their livelihood. So the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to climate change, as you mentioned earlier, has aggravated and accelerated food insecurity, affecting vulnerable groups like women.
And let's also take a look at the production chains, processing, and the government's stance on the ban of forex to boost local production. We have had quite a push and pull with regards to the deficit and also demand when it comes to restrictions that stifle our level of capacity. What's your take on that?
Yes. I agree with you. Government policies and government actions has affected food security and affected the capacity to leverage on technology to accelerate food production.
And now also across major markets, we've seen prices of staple foods also increased near average levels of about 30 to 100% above last year's record. And then we look at it spanning over 5-year averages. What sort of assistance do you think we need to help boost our harvest? Going by the predictions from October, we are expecting a better food production level.
Now, looking at this, I think we have to touch on the issue of the public budget. Now, looking at the 2019, 2020, and now the 2021 budget, you can see the allocation to agriculture has not been encouraging, contrary to the Malabo Declaration 10% prescription, that at least 10% of the state budget should be allocated to agriculture. And over the past 3 years, we can notice a continuous decrease. In the 2021 budget, which theme is growth and job creation. We can see that the first priority is given more to areas of NDDC, National Judicial Council, and the National Assembly. They got the highest budget, where agriculture did not, have any budgetary priority. So going forward, we would like to call on the government to increase budgetary allocation to the agriculture sector while disaggregating vulnerable groups like women and youth. They are usually lumped together. Women and youth are not a homogeneous group. Previously, less than 3% of the budget was allocated to vulnerable groups like women and youth. So you can imagine how many percent will go to the women and how many will go to the youth. So we're advocating and pushing for a scale-up of public financing to agriculture, targeting vulnerable groups like women and youth. And we also want women and youth to participate in the process of budgeting. The budget shouldn't just be prepared and handed down to them. They should be key stakeholders in deciding the policies and financial issues around the agriculture sector. And women, which is very key, the loans are not working for the women. So we're calling for an increase or scale up in grants to support women, small-scale farmers.
At the end of the day,
these are very practical strategies to strengthen
at the end of
sector.
the day, we just have to develop a sustainable means of funding and also take the critical pillars in terms of agricultural development, making it a mainstay. The women folk as well as the youth still remain the pillars of strength we have to build on. Thank you much for your contribution on the show today, Evelyn Ugbe. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.